discussing the environment as nature. So, you said that you are in charge of environment club in your school, right?
Yes.
Maybe to ask you this question, you know that people have different definition of environment. So, what is environment?
Okay, thank you very much. Environment basically means the surrounding or conditions in which a person, an animal or a plant lives or operates. So anything that is found within our surrounding is environment.
Meaning that I can also be part of the environment.
Correct.
The grass, the trees.
Yes.
All is environment.
That's right.
So, measuring on the soil as a component of environment, meaning that the soil is classified under abiotic or abiotic? Abiotic, correct. So, meaning that the soil is not living.
Exactly.
So, discussing the soil, do we just have one type of soil or are they different?
We have 3 major types of soil. That is the clay soil, loam soil, sand soil.
Okay, yes. So, what makes the soil different? What makes loam soil, clay soil, and sand soil?
The different types of soil you can differentiate them based on their textures. Yeah, because for example, clay soil has very smooth texture and very, very tiny soil particles. Now, compared to sand soil, which has very coarse texture when you rub it through your hands, your fingers, and it also has the largest particles. Loam soil is in between. It has medium-sized texture and also
for you to differentiate which soil is which soil, you just look according to the texture, right?
Yeah, that is correct. You look at it and also you can feel it. You rub it through your fingers and you'll feel.
So, and being that they are different, do they have different uses?
Yeah, for example, if you can look at each type of soil separately, let's begin with clay soil. Since clay soil has the finest particles, it has the highest water retention, meaning it retains water most. Therefore, it also contains nutrients that are essential for crops. Yeah, most people don't know that clay soil can also be used for cultivating crops, but it can be used.
With me, I thought that for agriculture we only use loam soil.
Loam soil, yeah, that is a misconception. So clay soil, apart from agriculture, we can also use it for pottery, making pots, and then we can also use it in production of ceramic materials such as the tiles. We have ceramic utensils and so on. Yeah. So traditionally, ancient days, some people don't know that clay soil can also be used as medicine.
Clay soil,
yes, it can be used. It was used before to treat illnesses such as food poisoning, yeah, and also some infections, treating wounds and so on.
Meaning that soil can also be a solution to health.
Correct.
I never knew that. So, on loam soil specifically,
loam soil is a mixture of sand, silt, and a bit of clay soil. So loam soil is the most ideal type of soil for agriculture, production of crops. Yeah, because since it's in between clay and sand soil, it has medium-sized particles, which allows it to retain water, enough water, not excess water, like clay soil. Clay soil retains most water, but loam soil retains enough water that can be used, absorbed slowly by the plants and used up by the plants. So loam soil also holds a lot of humus. It has humus. Yeah, humus, it's about the plants, the dead plants and the dead animals. We also have living organisms that are found within the soil, therefore improving on the humus of the soil. So it's very ideal for cultivation of crops, most of the crops.
So most of the crops do well in loam soil.
Yeah, and you can also use it for landscaping, Yeah, correct.
Is there any other use for loam soil apart from cultivation? Is there anything it can be useful?
Oh yeah, there's another use of loam soil. So you can use loam soil to, for example, if you've used your charcoal and there's those small particles of the charcoal that is left, so you can mix it with loam soil and you use it for cooking. So the Luos call it makwangala for lack of a better word. Yes, you can use loam soil in that way.
Meaning that the remains of the charcoal can still be useful.
Yes, it can be useful.
It can be useful.
Yeah, instead of throwing it away, you can recycle it. Yeah, and it also helps one in saving money. Yeah, especially during these tough economic times.
So going now to sand. What do you use sand soil for?
Okay, sand soil, like I said before, it has the largest size particles and it is very coarse in texture. It also has very poor water retention. Therefore, it is not ideal for cultivating many crops. But there are crops that we can plant in sand soil. For example, it's very ideal for coconut. We can also use it to plant potatoes and tomatoes. Yeah. Besides agriculture, we also use sand soil in construction of buildings. Yeah.
Just like you heard, viewers, there are some things we didn't know that some types of soil can help in. Like me specifically, I didn't know that sand soil can help in cultivation of tomatoes and potatoes. That's still a mystery. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
Have you thought of spending a night up with the hums of the cool breeze across Lake Victoria and waking to the roar of the lion at the Kisumu Impala Sanctuary? Think no more. Live it up at the Parkview Safari Hotel and Apartments, a place with a serene ambience for your stay and vacation needs. We have 42 well-furnished rooms for accommodation, a 100-seater restaurant, a spacious conference hall, bar, swimming pool, and well-tended grounds for your wedding, birthdays, team building, and many more. Located off Ring Road Junction behind Impala Park Sanctuary with a breathtaking view of the majestic Lake Victoria, Parkview Safari Hotel and Apartments. Live in style today. Home away from home.
As long as I live, I love you. Will heaven hold you? You look so beautiful in white. And from now to my very last breath, this day I'll change.
Ni sherehe ya kukatana shoka, sherehe iliyoje. Jiunge nami Ochieng Vivian kwa runinga ya Winam kila Jumamosi kwenye onyesho la harusi kuanzia saa 4. Usikose.
Nishike mkono kipenzi, kwangu wewe ndo kila kitu, na leo ndiyo siku yetu. We mzuri kwangu, kwa wazazi ukapita.
Welcome back to a world of nature, beauty, and life. Let's proceed. So just like we were discussing on environment and now to the soil, what do you think are some of the activities that affect the soil?
Okay, some of these activities are human activities, the things that you and I do. So one of them is plowing along the contours. That is plowing the crops in line from the highest level of the ground running down to the lowest level of the ground. So this one affects the soil in the way such that when rain falls, the runoff will flow from the highest level of the ground to the lowest level of the ground. carrying with it the topsoil, which we all know is the most fertile part of the soil.
Meaning that it makes the soil infertile.
Correct, because whatever will be left up there will no longer be useful for agricultural purposes. Yeah, it will not have the nutrients that the crops require.
Meaning that after the rain has washed the topsoil, now when you plow again, when you plant your crops again, it may not do as well as it used to be.
That is very correct.
Okay. Is there another way in which soil can be affected?
Yes, the other way is overstocking of domestic animals. So you'll find someone has a large number of domestic animals confined in a small area or a small land. So these animals will eat up the grass and thereby leaving the ground bare. And once the ground is left bare without any cover, it is prone to pollution, such as air pollution or water pollution. So the topsoil will again be washed away, and whatever will be left once again will not be good for agricultural purposes.
Meaning that this too much of overstocking, it's also harmful to the soil.
That is correct.
Like the animals overfeed on the few cover crops that are within the area.
Yes, they will be scrambling for the little grass that is available in that small area.
But we find that these days there are some people feel that the domestic animals is riches. So maybe someone has an acre of land and a lot of domestic animals. It means that automatically the soil over there is at risk.
Yeah, it's at risk. Besides the animals eating the grass, the movement of the animals also will also be helping in breaking down the soil particles. So making it very easy for the soil to be swept away by wind or runoff water.
Is there any other?
Yes, there is also the improper disposal of non-biodegradable materials, so such as plastic bags. We also have plastic containers, and then the artificial hair that us ladies use, the weaves and the braids. As you know, these materials do not decompose. So when you don't dispose of them well, they will be in the soil, but they will not decompose, and it will affect even the living organisms that are found in soil. Yes.
Meaning that just disposing anyhow is also harmful.
Yeah, we need to come up with better mechanisms of disposing of them, and thankfully, NEMA is also trying to control, or it has put measures to control the use of plastic bags. Yes.
So as much as plastic bag is being controlled, we know that there are a few people, because you still walk around and you see the plastic bags around.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part of it.
It's so unfortunate, because you walk around, you see the plastic bags, meaning the soil is still at risk.
That is true.
So how does clearing of vegetation affect the soil?
Okay, vegetation basically helps in covering the soil. For instance, when we plant grass, we have crops that we call cover crops, like potatoes. So what it does is that it covers the ground level, the surface of the ground. Therefore, when there is a strong wind or when it rains, the soil will also be held firm by the roots of the crops. So, meaning it will not be loose and it cannot be carried off easily by wind or by rain. Yes, also it does not expose the soil to the heat from the sun, because that one also affects the soil and it affects the plants and the organisms that live there.
Meaning that the heat from the sun also affects the soil.
Correct. Especially when you have crops that are growing there, because that heat from the sun will absorb the moisture that is in the soil. Therefore, the plants will not be able to get adequate moisture, the water that it needs for it to grow well. Yes.
So this issue of people bringing people to slash the grass, cutting of trees, it's so much harmful to the soil.
Okay, the slashing of grass, we just reduce the height or the length of the grass, but we don't remove it completely. We just trim
So it's okay to slash.
It is okay to slash, because again, you need to be in a presentable, a clean environment.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Which is also safe, because again, if you leave the long grass around, you will be inviting snakes into your compound. Yeah.
That's something that is really let me say it's still a misery to me.
Okay.
That the sun can affect the soil.
Okay, it doesn't just affect the quality of the soil. What it does is the heat from the sun will absorb it will dry up the moisture.
Okay.
So when the moisture is absorbed, it will affect the plants. Because again, remember, the plants are also important in the environment. And the plants, to survive, they need water that is retained in the soil.
The soil being so much important. So much important.
Correct.
Are there other activities that you feel the viewers really need to know? Because the Bible says that we perish for lack of knowledge, right?
True.
So maybe there are some of the things that maybe the viewers still don't know that can affect the soil.
Yeah, there is more. We can also talk about burning of land. Some people have the tendency of, when they are clearing land for agricultural purposes, instead of cutting them down, they burn. And when you burn the vegetation, you also burn the nutrients that are found in the soil. Therefore, the quality of the soil will be reduced. So the products that you get from that soil will not be as much as if the soil was not burnt.
So it will be not according to expectation.
That is true. The other thing is deforestation. This is the cutting down of trees without replacing. So as you all know, trees are very important also in the covering of the topsoil. So if you cut them down and we don't plant more, we shall be leaving our soil prone to pollution.
Meaning, when you cut down trees and you don't plant, right, you leave the soil bare, so it becomes so harmful.
Yeah, because the truth is we all need trees, and we all use trees like every single day. Not tree the way it is, but the timber we get from it, the charcoal that we use for cooking, because we cannot cheat ourselves and say that we can stop cutting trees. We plant them because they are useful to us. Besides making the environment look beautiful, they are also useful to us. Making our pieces of furniture, constructing our homes, using as fuel at home. So what we need to do is, we don't cut down so many and fail to replace.
As much as we cut, we also plant to replace.
Yes. Besides that, there's also the excessive application of agricultural chemicals. So these ones include the acaricides. Acaricides are chemicals that are used to kill or to control external parasites. So these ones, we use them, they're used in farms in spraying on the domestic animals. And also they can be used in cattle dips to give the animals a bath. So if these chemicals, like for example, when you spray them on the animals, so they'll be sprayed on the animals and then they flow into the soil. Yes. So that will affect the composition of the soil and the fertility of the soil. So other than acaricides, we also have herbicides. These are chemicals that are used to kill herbs or to control herbs in the farms. So these ones also are sprayed, and some will be washed down into the soil, mixing up with the soil, affecting the quality of the soil. Lastly, we have the fertilizers. We call them artificial or commercial fertilizers. The ones we buy in agrovet shops. There are excessive use of it. I'm not saying that use of fertilizer is bad, but excessive use of fertilizer, the commercial ones, is not good for the soil. Yes. So it's advisable to use it minimally, or you don't use it at all.
You use it not in excess.
Yes.
Just the quantity that is needed.
Yes. And also not all the time. You can, instead of using the commercial ones, you can also use the organic ones. Yeah. Because in fact they are the best.
Like the animal waste and
that is true. So besides that, we also have mining. Yes. As you know, Kenya is rich in gold in some parts of
the country.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. So that one also interferes with the soil. You go in some areas, there are so many big holes. Yeah, so mining also affects soil. Yeah.
So the other day, when I was watching TV, I saw the Migori residents complaining about the government not allowing them to mine along the road, meaning that people are so aggressive when it comes to mining, and they can also go for riots when it comes to mining. They complain so much on why the government will not allow them to do mining along the road, which you are now saying is so dangerous to the soil.
Yes, it is.
Okay, viewers, let's take a short break and we'll be right back.
Have you thought of spending a night up with the hums of the cool breeze across Lake Victoria and waking to the roar of the lion at the Kisumu Impala Sanctuary? Think no more. Live it up at the Parkview Safari Hotel and Apartments, a place with a serene ambience for your stay and vacation needs. We have 42 well-furnished rooms for accommodation, a 100-seater restaurant, a spacious conference hall, bar, swimming pool, and well-tended grounds for your wedding, birthdays, team building, and many more. Located off Ring Road Junction behind Impala Park Sanctuary with a breathtaking view of the majestic Lake Victoria, Parkview Safari Hotel and Apartments. Live in style today. Home away from home.
As long as I live, I love you. Will heaven hold you? You look so beautiful in white. And from now to my very last breath, this day I'll change.
Ni sherehe ya kukatana shoka, sherehe iliyoje. Jiunge nami Ochieng Vivian kwa runinga ya Winam kila Jumamosi kwenye onyesho la harusi kuanzia saa 4. Usikose.
Nishike mkono kipenzi, kwangu wewe ndo kila kitu, na leo ndiyo siku yetu. We mzuri kwangu, kwa wazazi ukapita.
Welcome back to a world of nature, beauty, and life. As we were discussing, we'll now be giving you the solutions to what can make the soil be what it should be. So, Lavender, what are some of the things that we should do to make the soil what it should be?
Okay, thank you very much. So one of the things you can do is applying mulch. So like I said before, which kind of also surprised you, that when ground is left bare, the sun affects it. So what you can do is we apply mulch. Mulch is dry grass, and again never use green, because if you use green grass, it will grow again. So you cut grass, you let it dry, and then you use it to cover the ground around the plants that you've planted. So that will protect the soil and prevent the heat from the sun from absorbing the moisture, thereby allowing the plants to get enough moisture during its growth. Yeah, so that's called mulching. The other thing we can do also to mitigate or to stop erosion, soil erosion, we can build gabions. We can also plow across the contour. Like I said, when you plow along it, the run of water will wash away the soil. But if you cultivate our crops along the slopy land, it means that when the rainwater falls and it flows with the soil, it will be deposited, it will be held by the the stems of the crop, sorry. Yeah, so it will not be washed away to the lower parts of the ground.
So when you say building of gabions, as much as you know it, I know it, there's someone outside who doesn't really know what building of gabions is. So just to explain, what is building of gabions?
Okay, gabions, basically they are just stones, slightly big stones that are packed together and tied with metal or wire mesh, and then they are put in blocks like this. So they are arranged along the slopy lands, so that when rainwater flows from the highest part, the topsoil that will be carried away will be deposited and held by the gabions. So not all of it will flow down to the lower grounds of that area. So that means that the soil will still be left fertile.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So the other thing we can do also, we avoid, basically these solutions are just related to the problems that we discussed before.
Yeah.
So we can avoid the burning of vegetation. There are other ways, instead of burning vegetation to clear land, especially land that has not been cultivated before.
Yeah.
So instead of burning, we can cut them down. All right? Yeah. Then we can do our farming there. Or we can also practice afforestation and reforestation. Now, afforestation is the practice of planting trees in an area that trees were not planted before.
Okay.
Yes. But deforestation is, sorry, not deforestation, but reforestation is whereby we replant trees where others have been cut down. Yes. That will also help in conserving the soil. Also, we can do controlled mining, because again, we cannot say we stop the mining completely. We need those minerals. Yeah. So we can do it in a controlled manner that it does not interfere with the environment. Yeah. So the government can do something about that to ensure this controlled mining. The other thing we can do also is proper stocking of domestic animals. So if you give an example of someone who has a large number of animals, what can you do?
Yeah.
So if maybe you have a parcel of land, say 1-2 acres, you can partition it. We call it paddocking. So you can divide them into sections so that you can have the animals graze in one section of the land at a time. So when they graze in a certain parcel of the land, you move them to the next one. So while they're feeding here, the other land will be grown. Yeah, grass will grow there again. And again, remember, even while they're there, they are dropping their droppings there. That is also manure on its own. Yeah. So increasing the nutrients and the fertility of the soil. So as you move them from one region to another, you'll be improving on the fertility of the soil. The other thing you can do is planting cover crops. Like I told you before, cover crops also help in reducing or controlling the exposure of the soil directly to the sun, thereby preventing absorption of the moisture. So the examples of cover crops are sweet potatoes. We have groundnuts. You can also do beans. For example, if someone plants maize, you can also include beans. So the beans will crawl along the ground of the surface of the ground, thereby covering the ground. So that will also prevent the absorption of the moisture by the sun. Yeah.
And before we discussed that the non-biodegradable waste like the plastic bags are also affecting the soil, right?
Yeah.
So don't you think recycling is also another way of helping the soil?
Yeah, you're very right, because it's very important to do recycling. It's another way of controlling the disposal of the non-biodegradable materials. So like I said, the plastic bags, they cannot decompose. Yeah, so they can be collected. Even glasses, broken glasses, They can be collected, taken back to factories and be recycled. Yes, that will help in conserving our soil. Yes. So other than that, we also talked about excessive application of farm chemicals like the acaricides and so on. So instead of using the artificial fertilizers, we can also introduce the use of organic manure. So here we have the compost manure and the organic manure. So those two are different. Yeah, so the compost manure we make using kitchen waste. You can also use the animal waste, even the sawdust that we get from the workshops.
Oh, so that can also be useful, right?
Yes, even the ash that is left behind after you're cooking. Yeah, we can use it. So you make your compost manure, and it's very cheap. You don't spend anything. It is just the waste that is lying around. Yes, so that will also help. Then the organic manure, this one you can make it using the kitchen waste. So if you have a hole or you have a big container, every time you have your peelings, the kitchen waste, you just dump them there and you continue making it progressively. Yes, so that will also help.
Which can also make the environment very clean.
Yes, it's a way of keeping the environment clean. Instead of throwing litter here and there,
you still use it for something more constructive.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. On the nuisance of on what we can do to make the soil what it should be, I think that's so key. And you told us that you are head of environment department, your school, right?
That is correct.
So what are some of the things you do in your school?
Okay, now in my school we have a club, environment club. Yeah, and we organize with the club members. Sometimes we do cleanup. Yeah, we also we partner with some non-governmental organizations where they supply us with seedlings, or even the county government sometimes supplies us with seedlings, which we plant in the schools. And some even give the club members and other learners in the school to go and plant in other places like their homes. Yeah, so that you can inculcate that habit of planting trees in them at an early age. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So basically that is what we do in our school.
That is what we do.
But we are looking forward to partnering with other groups that can support us in whatever we can be able to do to improve on our environment, because it is very key.
It is very key.
Yeah.
So, like, you mean that when you get more people that can fund or partner with you, then you can do so much?
Yeah, we can do so much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, being that you've been doing all this, what has been your challenge doing all that in the school as head of the environment department? What are some of the challenges?
Some of the challenges we can talk of like in my school, the major challenge, we have a porous fence. Yeah, we don't have a fence, let me say that. We don't have a fence. That is the major challenge that we are faced with. So like we plant the trees, some survive, others don't survive because animals walk in and they eat them up. So if you can get someone who can help us in fencing the compound, I believe we can do so much. Yes, and also we wish to engage the community also so that they can embrace the planting of trees and conservation of the environment in general. Yeah, that will enable us to go far places.
I'm so glad what you've given to the viewers. Because as much as you know environment, and maybe I know environment, people who study in environment know environment. The people out there don't know environment. They don't know how to conserve it. They don't know how it can be useful to them, right? So I thank you so much for making out time to be with us today. And what I'd like you to do is to continue the same spirit. So kindly, before you leave, I would give you a chance to tell the people out there. You know, there are some people who may want you in personal, maybe to partner with you in what you are doing in the school as a head of department environment, or maybe to know more about environment.
Okay. So like I said before, I'm a teacher at St. Mark Nyabera. St. Mark Nyabera Primary School is in Nyalenda A ward. Yeah. It is in the heart of the slums. Yeah. So my mobile phone number is 0720 43 0003. You can reach me on that. And I welcome anybody who would wish to partner with us so that we can do more for our environment and also to inculcate the spirit of taking care of the environment in our learners at an early age so that we can secure our future and the future of Kenya. Thank you very much, and I'm so happy to have been here with you. It has been nice talking to you.
You're always welcome.
Thank you.
Well, viewers, as we've discussed, you've seen and you've also known what you didn't know. Thank you very much for watching, for cooperating, for being our fan. It's quite unfortunate that we're leaving for now, but we will be back. We'll be back next time, same place. I've been your host, Lavender Okumu, and my guest,
Lavender Chimba.
Lavender? Chimba. Thank you.
Jinsi nilivyo, Sky like music. Window back, sitaki niende mbali na wewe. Ninachotaka nikae uweponi mwako baba we. Ndo maana nang'ang'ana uze pindo lako baba we, nipate usalama. Kwako niwe tenonte, nisipitwe na baraka, nikianguka kuniokote, nisiishi kwa mashaka. Kwako niwe tenonte, nisipitwe na baraka, nikianguka kuniokote baba. Naja jinsi nilivyo, naja jinsi nilivyo, nipoke. Naja jinsi nilivyo, naja jinsi nilivyo, nipoke. Nimekosea baba kwa mengi, tena kwa mwana potem nilipotea sana, bali kwa macho kaniona, tena kwa huruma kaniita, kwa macho kaniona, tena kwa huruma kaniita, mwanawe. Kwako niwe tenonte, nisipitwe na baraka, nikianguka kuniokote, nisiishi kwa mashaka. Kwako niwe tenonte, nisipitwe na baraka, nikianguka kuniokote baba. Naja jinsi nilivyo, naja jinsi nilivyo, nipoke. Naja jinsi nilivyo, naja jinsi nilivyo, nipoke. Hivi waona nini asiloweza kutenda? Hicho ni kitu gani kinachomshinda? Hivi waona nini asiloweza kutenda? Hilo ni jambo gani linalomshinda? Ni jambo gani hilo asiloweza kutenda? Oh na na na. Naja jinsi nilivyo, naja jinsi nilivyo, nipoke. Naja jinsi nilivyo, naja jinsi nilivyo, nipoke. Hivyo nilivyo mimi, nilivyo la la la.
Quality Records. Yeah. Oyari wuda wino mesinga imosona Erastas Onyango Randusi Yakabondo Kasipulu Sipka Sukurafu Small wudu yoma Kaulo Yawaya Fred Wood Migori Suna
Amilo tiyo mate